Hello everyone. Today we are going to answer some questions related to the Agora event. I will start first and then I will ask you. The first question says, what was the most rewarding aspect of your pedagogical practice experience? One of the most rewarding aspects of my pedagogical practice during the realization of the course was definitely the observation we were told to be exposed to. This element for me was key for the resulting knowledge I can say I have now. For example, when I was observing the recordings of some classes during the realization of the journal camp, I could see the way some language acquisition trends were involved in the interaction among students and the way it has to develop in a class and therefore the result of it. It may seem like a simple aspect, but it gains a deeper value if you see into the work it has in a real life situation, where the observation is needed as a teacher in order to improve your skills on the way in the way to teach that you teach. I was a spectator, and in a parallel way, it made me see how some trends can be applied correctly. Although I didn't apply them in real life, the experience allowed me to think beyond simple activities. The second question says, how did your understanding of language acquisition theories evolve during the course? What did you learn? At first, my understanding of language acquisition theories were superficial. I saw them as simple statements that some people proposed. However, with time and under the same activity, I understand them in a real life interaction. Was at the time when I realized the involvement they had in any educational scenario. Suddenly, my understanding of language acquisition overpasses simple lectures or media observations. I was seeing them in my own memories and experience. It definitely made me reflect about how my teachers made use of them or how indirectly they were not being applied correctly, which ended up in me understanding why some things happened in my time during high school and why some things happen now that I am in my own progress as a teacher. C. Which innovative activity showcased in the posters at the Agora event did you find most effective for teaching and learning English? An activity that definitely caught my attention was speaking with AI, dialogues with artificial intelligence. This activity involved students practicing speaking and listening to daily conversations with chatbots and apps like Replica AI. As it was explained, this activity will be guided by a teacher, and the catch for me is that it not only innovated pedagogical practice, but also the way students perceived learning, which is the ultimate goal for prescribing the attention that is received in the classroom. The idea of presenting a new technology in a more close position with the student creates a bridge to more nurturing experiences. The last question says, what is your evaluation and reflection regarding the products presented at the Agora meeting? I can only say that the future teachers during Agora is what education needs. Someone who understands the necessity to apply more technology in education during these times of technological evolution. The necessity to show relevant content, but doing it in a cool vision of the world is definitely a good sign for the education in the country. Although this, I will say that we need to observe more the way the different contexts of education are around is around, because I could say we can do this activity with AI characters in the school tomorrow, but maybe that school doesn't have the tools to actually be doing that. And that is how the teacher's role plays an important position. And since we are here, it's important for us as students to understand these imperfections. Now I will be asking you who wants to start. Daniela, you want to answer?
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Uh, what was the most rewarding aspect of your pedagogical practice experience?
Uh, One of the most enriching aspects of my internship experience was being able to see how the theoretical concepts I had studied manifested in real life classroom situation, closely observing the application of various teaching strategies and their impact on students and behavior participation and learnings allow me to more deeply understand the role of the teacher and I critically reflect on my future professional practice.
A second question says, how did your understanding of language acquisition theories evolve during the course? What did you learn?
And through the course, my understanding of foreign language acquisition theories involved significantly initially, and I only have a general understanding on how students learn a second language. However, after delving deeper into the different theoric approach, I am now able to identify and comparing key perspectives shows a behavior which emphasizes learning through repetitions in a state which maintains the existence of innate capacity to acquire language and interotomy which emphasize the role of social interaction in linguistic development as proposed by Goski and also I understand of more specific contemporary theory, such as Prasken input hypothesis, which highlights the importance of compressible language in the acquisition process and the distinctions between bit and CLLP processed by Cummins, which allow me to recognize the difference between everyday language and academic language in a school context. In short, the course brought me between theoretical and practical tools that I have enriched my vision as a future teacher, helping me understand that second language acquisition is a complex process that requires pedagogical sensitivity, methodology, flexibility, and contextual awareness.
Which innovative activities showcased in the posters at the Agora event did you find most effective for teaching and learning English?
Um, I found the use of digital storytelling projects as presentation on one of the Agora event poster to be particular effective. This activity encouraged the student to use English creatively and interacting language skill with technology personal expression. It is forced collaboration, critical thinking, and authentic language use, making learning engaging and meaningful.
What is your evaluation and reflection regarding the products presented at the Agora meeting?
The products presented during the Agora meeting stood not only for their creativity, but also for deep of pedagogical understanding demonstrated by the participants. I was convinced that each other of the project was solid, grounded in contemporary learning theories and teaching approach, along with the proposal to effectively respond to the diverse need of the students. Careful planning was evident in the designs of activities, which integrate innovative elements such as the use of digital technologies, activities, methodologies, and recreational recourse. And one of the most valued features of this product was their practically the material and strategies present were not only original but also very versatile, allowing with the to be adapted to different educational contexts and performance level and teaching modalities were in person, virtual, or hybrid. This combination of innovation and practical applicability reflects a mature pedagogical vision right toward real impact in the classroom. Furthermore, the Agora events experience transcends the academy, become a space for collaborative exchange that promote dialogue, constructive feedback, and professional growth among future teachers.
Thanks, Daniela. Juan, you want to answer?
Yes, of course.
What was the most rewarding aspect of your pedagogical practice experience?
Okay, the most rewarding part of my teaching practice was seeing how theory comes alive in the classroom and how students respond to different approaches. It was incredibly thrilling to watch learners become more confidently engaged as a practice the language in meaningful ways, knowing that it could create activities that make learning enjoy and accessible, especially in virtual settings, give me a real sense of purpose. To remind me that teaching is not just about delivering content, but about connecting with students and supporting their unique learning journeys.
How did your understanding of language acquisition theories evolve during the course? What did you learn?
Throughout the course, my understanding of language acquisition grew more deeper. At early, I thought learning language was mostly about person and practice, but I realized it's much more complex. I learned how motivation learning strategies on the environment will influence how people learn. I also discovered the most importance of balancing explicit teaching with opportunities for natural immersive learning, the role of the technology as the digital tools become clearer too. They offer exciting ways to personalize learning and make it more interactive. And overall, I know the language acquisition is dynamic process that requires flexibility and creativity from both teachers and learners.
Which innovative activity showcased in the post at the Agora event did you find most effective for teaching and learning English?
Okay, and the activity that sought of me in the most was the use of gamification in English learning. It was impressive how game like elements could boost motivation and make students more willing to practice and take a risk with the language. I also like how some activity use technology, create immersive and collaborative experience which is aimed to encourage real communication. This approach feels very relevant today because they enjoy learning actively rather than passively, and they help create a positive support learning atmosphere.
What is your evaluation and reflection regarding the products presented at the Agora meeting?
Okay, a reflection on the products shared at the Agora meeting, I felt inspired by the creativity and the command to improve language teaching. Many of the projects showed throughout use of technology and strategy aiming at including active learners. I appreciate how the focus wasn't just on the teaching language but on fostering motivation, collaboration, and learning autonomy. At the same time, I think there is always room to make these innovations in more connect to help people naturally acquire language and to find what to measure their impact more clearly. Overall, the meeting gave me hope and ideas for how language teaching can evolve to meet needs of today learning. Thank you.
Thanks, Juan. Laura, what was the most rewarding aspect of your pedagogical practice experience?
The most rewarding aspect was witnessing the student progress and motivation and stay engaged with creative, student-centered activity. The simulation time responding to their needs and interests helped me build stronger connection and reaffirmed my passion for teaching. She take confidence and growth is pushing English was truly fulfilling.
How did your understanding of language acquisition theories evolve during the course? What did you learn?
My understanding depending through the practical application of sharing light, writing input and information and because social art and theory. I learned that language acquisition is not only about exploring to input but also about creating meaning to interaction aid emotionally supporting environment that allow students to talk, read, and shoot to language understandably.
Which innovative activity showcased in the posters at the Agora event did you find most effective for teaching and learning English?
One of the most effective activities was the IAT Power Interaction Exploring Project, which combined creative reading, speaking, and digital tools like ChatGPT. It encouraged students to create story and collaborating while practice grammar and vocabulary and using IAT meant the learning process more dynamic and personalized.
What is your evaluation and reflection regarding the products presented at the Agora meeting?
The product pricing and the Agora meeting in regulation and a strong interaction with technology and creative knowledge. My activity shows that students centered in appreciating collaborative learning and real world application. I learned the product demonstrated both digital tool and activity methodology can try it English touching into a more inclusive, engaged, AFT process. It has the right to the importance of reflection, teaching, and continued professional development. Thank you.
Uh, well, thanks. I think that's it. We are done. Thanks for your participation, and I'm glad to hear your experience and opinions. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Night.